I let love, I let go, I release, and I know I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe, I am healed, I am whole, I release, I know. To push, no need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release, and know.
Everyone wishes to live their best life. We experiment with various ways to achieve that, whether it is through study, competing, finding a partner, working hard, or admiring someone who inspires you. It is the quality of our inner being that does it all, or grapples with fulfilling life's calling. For the past 20 years, the Brahma Kumaris in Washington, D.C. has been a space for any and everyone to enter into and experience one's soul calling. From 1997, the center opened in an old rickety house on Georgia Avenue in Silver Spring, Maryland, where cars and trucks that passed by would shake the space. But when you were inside, it was a peaceful and powerful sanctuary for all who visited. Since then, over 2,500 events, 17 city and nationwide initiatives, 21 awards, 2 meditation museums have served youths, senior citizens, entrepreneurs, scientists, authors, women, interfaith, the disabled, environment, small businesses, arts seekers, and even leaders. Millions of lives have been served, either through social media, the popular America Meditating radio show, or through exhibitions, lectures, partnerships, and programs held in the meditation museums and centers. We look at 20 years of service as a continued journey of love, courage, wisdom, and determination with friends from diverse backgrounds and thought who believe a better world is possible when we make ourselves better human beings. Meditation is an important tool that helps us to gain greater clarity, insights, and inner power so we can make healthy choices and amplify our capacity to live a full life. In times of great anxiety, insecurity, and fear, meditation is an essential practice for everyone to gain stability and inner strength. Just look at what a few dedicated, purposeful, and kind group of committed people have been able to achieve in 20 years. Thanks to everyone who have supported us along the way. And thanks in advance to those who believe in our work and power of intent. Brahma Kumari's Meditation Museums, where peace is inside. Vibrations of love. And some say love is a verb. But much deeper than that, love is a vibration. It is that energy that stirs the soul and opens up the heart. Vibrations of love call out to the divine that connects us with the beauty of life and the oneness of it all. I need not to say it with words, although it is always nice to hear, but greater still is to feel it. Vibrations of love lift me higher, and I fill the empty spaces within the soul. It is the divine in its purest essence. It is me at the height of my being. I am vibrations of love. Your next normal. Om Shanti. I just had to repeat it. I had my mic off. Welcome to your next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. Today is International Day for Peace, a day in which the UN's resolution has invited all nations to put down their weapons and have a day of no war. No war in our minds, no war outside of us. So I'd like to invite everyone to let us hold a moment of peace for the betterment of ourselves and the betterment of our humanity. Thank you for doing that. Life becomes so powerful when you actually pull back the reins of your senses and all those thoughts that keep running rampantly. And perhaps this pandemic's gift to us and to our global humanity is to invite us what one of our youth leaders on the shift panel that I hosted for the spirituality stage said. Yuji said, the pandemic is telling us to go in. And what do you find when you dig deep? You find jewels, lost treasures that you didn't know you had, and maybe things that you've been carrying that you can throw out because you're no longer using them, or actually they're getting more in your way. So this is our time for inner reflection. And if we don't come to some deeper sense of knowing who we are, then we're definitely going to be led to self-destruction. You know, there's no way that you and I can be having thoughts and sharing our words and making decisions and choices, and we don't have an inkling about who we are. We have no idea. And I'm inviting you to pause for a little bit and think about that. You are making decisions every day. Some are really, really important, like getting married, signing up for college, getting higher education, maybe changing your job or relocating, a variety of very important decisions we can make. In the United States, vote for whoever you feel will be best to lead the country for the next 4 years. These are all important decisions. And from what place of understanding who you are do those choices come from? This morning I was walking around the house and I was like in one of my little moods. And I was just finding, I was observing myself. Every so often I get into this mood, maybe 3 times a year, where I kind of ramble on. And I was talking to Naveen in the office today, and I said, oh my, I was like one of those ladies that a husband would say, oh, my wife is such a nag. And we were laughing this morning because I'm really not a nagging person. But I don't know, this morning I just found myself like, come on, let's do this. Can't we get this together? We should get this, we should. And I was observing myself, and what I was observing is how one of the things I've understood about my own nature is if energies are around me that aren't growing, it just gets to me, and I know it's a past life experience. And then I check myself, am I not growing? Is that what it is? Because the law of the universe says you are what you attract what you are. And so this is where every second of your life is offering you an opportunity to check deeper, to really understand, who am I? And have I really understood my journey and why I'm here? So on this International Day for Peace, I really invite everyone to I really invite everyone to take that pause, that well-needed pause, and to look for ways to listen to what these thoughts are telling you and are signaling to you. Because a shift has already occurred, but there are more shifts to come. And if you spent the last 3 days with us on the Shift Network, where I hosted the spirituality stage and led the interfaith panel and a conscious media panel and a emerging youth panel, and I just finished giving our 2030 visionary plan for looking at how we focus on our thought healing process. If you've stayed with me for the last 4 days, you can see how much work we have to do. But also when you look at the fact that everyone, the over 300 presenters on the Shift Summit and Music Festival for the last 4 days, all our experts, 300 people, musicians, experts in various areas, whether it's from government to business to technology to women empowerment, that they have the answers. Each one spoke better than the other one. And we're still in a particular turmoil. We've reached a particular point in our lives that most of our hours in a day are spent in front of a gadget or laptop or screen that somebody somewhere has placed information in it. And I go to that information to find answers, solutions, or to make myself connect to the rest of the world. It's really a different time. Where we might find comfort looking at a screen, but cannot look at our husbands or our wives or our children or our brothers or sisters, that speaks volumes as to how far we might have moved away from any notion of who we might be. So today I wanted us to sort of settle in and relax, basically. Now that we had shifted from spiritual vaccine to the next normal, and then now we're doing it Monday through Friday, I still find myself Saturdays and Sundays telling people who might be over the house, oh, I have to get ready to do the show, and they look at me confused. And then I go down and I realize, oh wait, today's Saturday or it's Sunday. The show isn't happening on the weekends anymore. And it's been now a few weeks, and even just last weekend alone, I was still thinking that I should come down into the studio and talk to you. Now that goes to show how deep-rooted that pattern had become for me, and I think for some of you too, that you're still thinking, oh, what do I do with my weekends now that spiritual vaccine is not there, or next normal doesn't show on the weekends. So imagine how the soul feels when it has practiced a particular pattern for a long time and has maybe an awakening that totally shifts its perspective and changes the complete story, that the energy naturally that is wired in the brain, wired in your cells, wired in your muscles, wired in your whole being, automatically just wants to take you into that experience because that's what you're used to. So when we're looking at understanding our journey and we become more sensitive to certain aspects of our lives that we identify, they really isn't good for me anymore. And even if you stop it and you put down, maybe it's drinking or smoking, or put down yelling or screaming, or let's even say that you decide to do a vegetarian diet, which I would be so happy that you do. But you decide to save an animal for, from now on, and you just, no more chicken, no more fish, no more cows. And I have to tell you a story about my wheatgrass saga, which I'll tell you after this. But none of that, right? You will find that the vibration of the memory sends a thought to your consciousness to say, oh, well, it's okay if I have a little bit of fish. Or it's okay if I have a little bit of chicken. Oh, why did I have to give up meat so fast? And everything in you had first chosen that I really want to preserve the planet. I want to save a life of an animal. I want my body to have a more of a gentler energy with the food that I'm ingesting inside of it. And so your decision to make a choice that you deeply felt was beneficial for you, for the environment, and maybe even for your relationships in the long run, you say it's good for you. And you start it for a day or two or three. But then after your fourth or fifth day, there's a lingering of a memory or something of the past, something that you're familiar with. And the thought will enter into your consciousness as if it's trying to tell you, when you used to use me, or when you used to induce me in your system, you were pleased, you experienced pleasure, you were happy as a result of these choices. Why did you stop eating meat? Why did you stop smoking? Why did you stop drinking? And it's interesting that some of the habits that we choose to stop, we deeply, naturally, innately feel that it's not good for us. Maybe we've even done more than we should have done. Maybe it's okay if you drink a social drink once a week or once a month. I have no idea what the amount is for social drinking is anymore. But let's just say when you start to go beyond enough and you start to abuse that particular choice till it starts to become a nature, that it becomes an addiction, that when you actually choose to stop it, it doesn't want to let you go. The energy of that vibration keeps pulling you. It's quite fascinating. And that's why many of us on our journeys question who really we are, because there's a part of us that wants to be the best, and there's another part of us that perhaps was good and it did what it needed to do, but something in the soul says, I can't use you. But the lingering, and I want you to remember that word, it lingers in your consciousness and tapping on the door of your subconscious and conscious, and it's saying that if you use me again, you will find pleasure. So many of us might question, what if my life is preordained? Then where do I find the power to make choices, or do I even have willpower, or am I changing anything when I think I say I don't want this to be ordained? But what if, and I want you to give that a deep thought, what if everything that you've been through and will go through is already ordained to happen? Would that make you happy? Would that inspire you to love to live? How many of you like astrology? And why do you read your astrology? Why is it telling you something that is going to happen? How many of you enjoy? I love Chinese astrology. Even Vedic astrology is really awesome. But we turn to them on occasions. There's one lady that I listened to. She was at our America Meditating Retreat, Joni Patri. And she always tells you these Vedic astrology readings. And every so often, me and my friends would go to listen. Let's hear what Joni is saying. So she says, I'm telling you, by October, this is going to happen. In November, you're going to see this. And Vendata, and Datta, and Kata, and Mata. And I'm like, I wonder if that's really going to happen, you know? Because what she's saying is, based on the energies, the stars, the vibrations, things are ordained. So what if it was preordained for you to marry the spouse that you have, and there was nothing you could do to stop that? And what if it was preordained for you to have the children or the child that you have, and there was nothing that you could do to stop that? And what if it was preordained for you to encounter a business deal in which you lost big, and there was nothing you could have done to stop that? What would you do? How would you feel if you accepted that it was preordained? And the only thing that you had power over is the way that you will choose to see and feel about the situation that has been ordained for you. For me, in one way, it makes me peaceful. In another way, I get also frustrated. And then in another way, I was talking to Naveen this morning, and I was telling him how sometimes I just question this. Like, I don't question it, but I get so dissatisfied with karma, you know. And I was telling him, well, ever so often I get like that, you know. Every year I get into this little mood that there's so many good people that I have known, and they've had to endure what is known as the settling of karma. Means there's a debt, there's an energy in the soul where there is a remembrance, there is a recording. That's a better word than remembrance. But there's a recording in the soul when it performed an action with the intent to take more than it would give. Maybe with the intent to give suffering without thinking about the consequence. Maybe it was an intent of greed or trauma or disrespect or pain on another person. And the soul walks away free. And then you say to yourself, even that's not right. So today I was thinking about the whole thing about karma, that what if I was ignorant and I did make a mistake? Why do I have to suffer for things over and over and over again? So I was telling him today how sometimes just this whole notion of karma, and even though karma has been great for me, I still think about karma at a collective level. Because whatever is happening collectively is also happening to you at some level or the other. So we were just looking at things today about the whole philosophy of karma, that if and even though things are preordained, karma is just a blip. And I know it has all of our addresses. And I know if I give love, karma will send me back love. I know if I give charity, karma will look out for me and bestow charity and abundance on me. I know if I give kindness, support, understanding, maturity, and kindness, karma has to give me back all of that. But what happens when you just do one little thing? So he was saying to me, like in the study of the Brahma Kumaris, we have an advanced teaching called the Murli. And in the Murli, Baba always gives us guidance. So brother was saying to me, yeah, like Baba says, that even if you have one waste thought, it destroys all of your good thoughts. And I was like, yeah, that's not fair, right? Like if I have done 100 great things, you're saying I make one mistake and that deletes so much of my good? Is that how toxic algae is on the soul? anger, lust, greed, attachment, and ego. If you're joining us for the first time, it's an acronym that I use quite regularly. Is that really, is that a good law? And if all of that is preordained, how am I supposed to handle what this journey means to me? Why am I here? Why am I with you? Why are we doing this? The pandemic has people so confused. They've lost their footings. They don't know if they're coming or going. Spoke to a friend of mine who runs a very, very large church out in the West Coast, and he says, would you believe I passed my exit 3 times? And I says, I can believe it. He says, I'm so blissed out, I don't know what to do. I'm like, blissed out? If you could be blissed out, but you should know what to do. And it's just because of this. People are spending their time indoors on a system. They're not really socializing as much. And we were born to be social creatures. We are not born to be isolated. For those of you who do enjoy living by yourselves, more power to you. I really don't know how you do it, but sometimes I would love to be by myself. There is no doubt. Would I like to be by myself all the time? I don't think I could do it. Mark you, I'm not in that position. However, I have felt times where I just want to be in my own energy for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days maybe, without somebody saying something or doing something that might not be in alignment with the energy that I'm trying to build. So yes, I understand how powerful it can be when you're totally by yourself. And I just question, to be isolated for a long period of time, what does that do to the spirit? When the human spirit is designed to be social. In Raja Yoga meditation, there's a course, the course. The first lesson in Raja Yoga meditation reminds you that you're not your body, but that you're a soul. And the soul is the living energy behind your eye. And it carries your stories with you. You carry these stories with you. Past, present, even your future. Even though your future might not be recorded somewhere in you, you don't know what your future is, it's still sitting there as an energy. Because in some way, shape, or form, you are feeling a pull to fulfill a vision of your future, because it's also going to pull you naturally. Another thing that I think is important for us to percolate on is the fact that the human soul is supposed to have a natural trait of resilience. And what resilience to me stands for, when you have it, is that you keep thinking about the future. And you keep pondering about what your tomorrows could hold for you. Now, I'm not saying a tomorrow with a desire that says, I want this for my tomorrow. But more so as like a question, I wonder what tomorrow could actually hold for me. So you find that your resilience will come from a person who lives with a great anticipation or curiosity about what a tomorrow could be for them. And if you don't consider yourself to be a resilient person, I'll have to question, are you living too much from your past? And is that past really numbifying you that you're not even able to dream anymore? Do you not understand why you're here, who you are, and the times that you're in? So to have that energy of resilience and that energy of enthusiasm, there's got to be a vision that's pulling you. And again, if we're here to be social creatures, can you imagine what this pandemic is doing to so many folks who are stuck at home by themselves with not many friends, real friends to be engaged with? What about some people who have just never been very comfortable with socializing with a lot of people? And they might only have 2 or 3 friends. After a while, for 6 months, those 2 or 3 friends might not even want to hear from you anymore. You know? So what is it that we need to understand about ourselves? What if everything is preordained? And the sooner I can come to some acceptance of that, the quicker I can stop trying to be someone that I'm not, or the quicker I can stop copying what other people are doing, Well, the quicker I can really just, sharpen up and turn my attention to source and begin to catch those thoughts from God, and then allow God's energy to really begin to show me the way that my journey, even if it's a pre-recorded one, if the energy of God's vibrations and thoughts are in my head, can you imagine how beautiful that journey will be? The energy of God's thoughts would be energies of love, purity, peace, happiness, enthusiasm, creativity, determination, royalty, introspectiveness, cheerfulness, joy, such a long list. And when you have thoughts like that, wow, there's no telling what your preordained part is. So let's go for a little meditation on the journey of the soul. And I know that in our center in the UK, the Brahma Kumaris, they're doing a 12-day meditation, sort of a marathon. So hopefully we'll get a chance to participate on that by bringing to you some of their meditations, at least for us, Monday through Friday. And I'm hoping that you'll also enjoy what they're offering. So let's take a deep breath, and I invite you to contemplate on a lot of the rich words that I've just shared with you today. I'm pretty sure that it has you thinking about you and your journey and why you're actually here, and understanding your own journey here. Because we need to stop spending time trying to figure out other people and what other people are doing. But if I can keep thinking about the feelings that I'm having and what these thoughts are saying about the person I've become, then at that moment, if it's all preordained, then why can't I preordain a decision and a choice that takes me to the high road, that takes me to a place where my self-respect is clear, my strength of character is very obvious, I attract abundance in my life, good health, I want to preordain good friendships. What if I can do all of that through the power of my own thinking? That would be great. So let's do a little bit of meditation on soul consciousness, which is really where we start to listen and see and experience who we're supposed to be. Take a deep breath.
Meditations on Soul Consciousness, Day 1. Imagine being stuck in a room for 16 hours and watching 30,000 people stream in. Each visitor that comes into your space demands your attention, some more forcefully than others. All these people hurling messages at you represent your thoughts. We have on average 30,000 of them every day passing through our mind. Some linger and deeply affect us for a very long time. Others are swift and wispy and extremely hard to pin down. This is our ordinary mind. It's fast and it's busy. Most of us feel that we're not choosing the contents of our mind. It feels as though thoughts just happen, which is uncomfortable. Yet we can break free of being imprisoned in a mind swirling with thoughts beyond our control. Beyond the busy mind is the higher self. We just need to learn the trick of slowing down our thoughts enough to rise above into that higher state of being, into a calm and freeing experience. When we experience our higher nature, we feel naturally much kinder and more compassionate. So of course we start to like ourselves more and feel more comfortable in our own skin. And a deeper form of happiness builds inside. To experience this, we first need to know how to slow down the frantic pace of mind-generated thoughts. So that's what we'll do in this first meditation. We'll start by practicing a form of mindfulness, the kind observer of our thoughts. The most important aspect of this is to practice watching your thoughts with a kind presence. That inner kindness towards ourselves helps us feel at ease. This means being aware of any critical tone your inner voice may have and changing it to a kinder one. Whenever we speak kindly and compassionately to ourselves on an inner level, we turn on a feeling of inner peace. But for this to really work, we have to accept our own kindness, as if it was given to us by a good friend. And as with all soul-conscious meditations, try to keep your eyes open while practicing. It will keep your mind alert and on track. Turn your focus away from the sights and sounds around you for a moment, and instead turn your attention to what's happening inside your mind. Spend the next few minutes just watching your thoughts. Whatever you see, keep watching it with curiosity, and more importantly, watch it with kindness. Gazing into your mind is a little like gazing into a pond. At first, you only see the surface. If you keep gazing, you see fish swimming below. So it is with your mind. If you keep gazing into it, you will start to see what's happening there. The thoughts that are circulating will gradually come into focus. As you watch, you may notice your attention drifting in and out. One moment you're observing your thoughts, and the next you're caught up in them again, swept along by a train of thinking. No matter. Just bring your attention back again. It's normal for your attention to drift in and out, so don't chastise yourself when that happens. So for the next few moments, talk to your mind in a really soft and loving voice. Repeat slowly 2 or 3 times. I accept all that I see in my mind without any judgment. I am the observer now, the kind, loving observer. Speak to your mind in this way, but in a manner that works for you, that's natural for you. Try this out now for a few minutes. Observing, accepting what you see, with kindness. As you keep watching, especially with a few kind comments whispered silently to yourself, you may find a change in the atmosphere inside your mind. Don't try too hard for this. Just be open and notice if it happens. Once you get the hang of gazing into your mind and being a kind observer of it, you notice more. Notice your mood. Especially notice any thoughts that may have stirred up some emotion lately. As you gaze, you may even see some persistent thoughts that have been turning over again and again in your mind. They tend to leave an emotional charge behind, like vapor trails planes leave in the sky. The more you gaze, the more thought trails you discern. You may get a sense of how they've influenced your state of mind during the day. Observe all of this with curiosity. If you keep watching with kindness, the reasons why you feel certain emotions may become revealed to you. Don't try too hard for this. Allow insights to arise in their own time. For the next few minutes, enjoy this simple pastime of just watching your thoughts and being as loving and compassionate towards yourself as you can. You're especially looking for emotionally charged thoughts that keep dropping into your mind. When you see them, be kind to yourself. Say something reassuring. See what happens when you do this.
So that meditation that
As you
helped us
practice
to look more into the quality of our thinking and how we need to start to have a relationship with ourselves. Many times we can be so harsh with ourselves, and so it's natural for us to be harsh with others. I know that I found myself sometimes guilty for that. I think because in this incarnation I have believed very deeply that no one really comes to save you, you have to save yourself. And last night we were talking about how many times we turn to what we call in Hindi bhakti, religion, or devotion. You tell your deity, or you go to your priest and make a confession, or you tell your guru, or you go out and you tell people, look, this is happening to me, so I need your prayers. And then you let go the effort that you'd also need to make. And you start to hand over your life to other people to say, oh, they're praying for me, they're blessing me, so then I don't do any effort. I found that in this birth, I'm not wired that way. I will rather stand on my own 2 feet, as well as knowing that you are helping me to stay up. And I think that if we can understand our journey pretty well, I think it's important for us to turn to the energy of God and begin to identify how God would be if he was human. And the way that I look at that is there would be such a power. And let's just try this together. If God was physically a person, let's just say there is only one God and it's just this one human being. That soul, that being, would be so filled with such an awareness and such an embodiment of vibrations that wherever that soul would go, that soul's vibrations would travel in a room, in a corner, wherever, and something magical would happen wherever that soul would go. Just think that for a little bit. This being is filled with God's light and God's wonder and God's love. And this is God, human form. And at the moment the feet would touch the ground, something would be birthed. Something would grow. Wherever that person would travel, when they would look at you, you would get this very beautiful, warm feeling of life. And when they would smile at you, everything in you would awaken and you'd become the best version of yourself. And there is no way you would want to be any less than, because that person just emanates the best amazingness that there could possibly be. That person would just touch your skin and would feel like an angel just flew through you. I'm getting carried away with it. But when you actually begin to think about what you really are, or who you really are, rather, when you start to really ponder on who you really are and understand what your journey is about, can you begin to imagine it being of this kind of a quality? That there'd be such a love, such a peace, such an energy of happiness and joy, that wherever you went, the whole place would just light up. And I believe that's really who we were all supposed to be. But somehow, somewhere along the way, the drama had it ordained that algae had a very big part to play in our lives, and that made the story compelling, exciting, adventurous, suspenseful. You never really knew what was going to happen, how it was going to happen. You had your ups and downs, your ins and out, and all of these games of emotions and victories and defeats and sorrows and joys. It was a part of the journey. But I believe as we approach the great transformation of all the transformations, the great transformations of all transformations, we've never had a time in history where the entire world shared the same collective karma. Never. Not like this. We might have collectively felt the karma of something that happened somewhere. Remember 9/11? And when everyone saw that on television, they all felt the same shock and awe and terror. Maybe not for the people who strategized the actual event. Maybe they were celebrating. But maybe even when they were seeing that they might have been like, wow, we did it. And they might have also been in awe. But so the point I'm saying is that, can you just imagine that we're actually supposed to be so self-realized by the end of this pandemic or the end of this great transformation, that the notion or the intent or the thought to bring sorrow to anyone's life wouldn't be recorded at all. It won't be something ordained whatsoever, because the recording of any form of sorrow or hurt is just not in you anymore. You went in, you went in, you went in, you went in. You looked for whatever it was in you that was causing you pain or distracting you from your joy. So since we are in a period which we can call the confluence age, which is in the teachings of Raj Yoga, which is the great transformational age, in which after this particular age has come to its close, the next age will be an age that is golden, filled with human beings with absolutely divine qualities and beautiful features. Human beings that would walk into a room and light it up. That wherever their feet would touch land, something beautiful will grow. That whenever they looked at you, you just knew you were okay. And I feel that this is the time that we're in, and if we are able to understand our journeys very well, something has got to be calling you from the inside to really become this golden aged being, and to really sort through those parts of you that are still wasting your time. You know, it's just wasting your time. So whatever it is, whether we call it karma, or we say it's all preordained, That's why I go to an astrologer, I go to a psychic, I go to a numerologist, I go to a tarot reader, or they call it a palmist. Get your palms read. You know, every time you try to go to seers or folks that you think will know into the future, aren't you saying in a very subconscious way that I know my life is already fixed for me, but could you just give me a heads up what I should expect? And what if what you're supposed to be expecting is a golden aged future? What would be your choices now? What would be the quality of your thoughts? What would be the words that you speak? What would be the kinds of people that you would meet? This pandemic also has us wanting to be with people who inspire you, encourage you, believe in you, empower you. Can you imagine being locked down with somebody who's constantly on your back, criticizing you, arguing with you, taking you away from yourself, and not making you feel like you're anything positive? And you are locked down with that person every day, day in, day out, and the only thing they can offer you is a yelling or a screaming or an arguing? Can you imagine? This pandemic would actually make you go, I don't know if I really want these kinds of folks in my life, right? And you get to a point that you say to yourself, who am I? What am I here for? You know? So give it some thought for tonight, everyone, and see if you can take this time to really understand who you really are. And again, I want to thank everybody who joined us for the Shift Summit and Music Festival. I know today's our last day. They just texted me. They wanted me to do a closing, but I told them I was on the next normal. But if you, by chance, have missed the program, you can still go on our America Meditating or Meditation Museum website to get the link to sign up for the Shift Network and catch up on all the incredible programs and talkings and sharings that we did. And on the America Meditating YouTube, we've launched 2 tracks. The Om Shanti song, which is in honor of International Day for Peace, and Vibrations of Love, which I had the fortune of working with Grammy Award winner Ricky Cage. That was played at the beginning of the show. So feel free to rewind the show and enjoy that beautiful sound. Beautiful sound. Anyway, I wish I could say hi to all of my friends on YouTube, but Sister Geechee just came down dancing and singing and beating up Naveen. And while I'm talking to you, I'm watching a little bit to the right, so you might have seen my eye going, okay, Sister Geeta. So beating up in love way. She comes and she has this new thing about it. She goes, you're so cute. And then she hits you, for a good minute. And she goes on. And I was like, okay. And I had to stay focused to try to remember what I was being guided to tell you. So again, you have to understand who you are in your journey. And sometimes you're just with energies that will test you. But who am I? Who am I? What am I here to do? So anyway, just want to say hi to all my friends. Hi, Tom from London. Om Shanti. Ranju, Mani, nice to have you. Hi, Mercedes. Om Shanti. ¿Cómo estás, mi amor, from Peru? Nikki Dicky, Om Shanti. Hey, Louise. Louise, I'm so glad you feel the same way, that you also find yourself coming on the weekends, trying to tune into Next Normal and realize Saturdays and Sundays it's not on. Nagasri, Jennifer Scotland, Samantha Pearson, good evening, beautiful, nice to have you. Asmita, I'm so sorry to say, Asmita, we didn't get the package, and we don't know if Sister Geeta has it stashed somewhere, so know that I have received the love. I really, really have. I've really received it, and I am so sorry about that. So sorry. Welcome, Abby. Miss Rue, hope you're hanging in there as an essential worker. Bharti Patel, welcome. Nikhil Kumar, Bryn, Kalis, Indu, Kailash, Shobha, all of you. Thanks for joining in always. And Praveen, It's very good to have you also, my brother. And Mani says, I've been thinking about people in my life, and do I really need all of them in it? I know the feeling, Mani. Not sure. What I do know, though, what's really important is to really know yourself and sense for you what is your inner need, and to remember we still attract certain vibrations of people around us because of a vibration inside. So you have to figure that out. Like, what is that vibration I need to change? So what I've been doing a lot is journaling. I just keep writing these feelings and the things that I'm going through, and I go, why this, and I'll write it on the paper, and I'll go, this is happening, and this has to stop. And as I'm writing it on the paper, I feel like the energy is getting less and less and less. So, Dr. Madhavi, always nice to have you. Hello, Nisi, whoever you are, welcome to the tribe. Glad that you could join the next normal. And all of you on Facebook, my sweet sister Portia. Portia, I saw that you called today, but I've been so busy, so I'll definitely give you a call. Hello, Enid from Hollywood, Florida. Please give my love to every single one of the BKs in Hollywood. Etta and Roz and all of you have such a special place in my heart. I just love going to see you all. Yolanda, Om Shanti, Darlene, Vashti, I'm sure Mom is doing much better now. Mario from the Philippines, welcome, nice to have you. And Sheila, I hope you're also doing well. Thank you for your thoughtful donation to the Meditation Museum, all the way from the Philippines. That was so thoughtful of you, and really, really was touched by your generosity of expressing how much you've appreciated, you and your friends have appreciated the evening programs. I'm glad that, so many of you have stayed with us, even with the change of the program. I've gotten some folks who go, I miss spiritual vaccine. I know. But now I have my chair back, so it's almost like the same. But it's just nice that life should be evolving for all of us. And I know consistency and determination are really important qualities. We can also be consistent and still be creative and evolved. We don't have to keep feeding the same energy. We should also be open to expanding. The nature of the soul, as I said, is to want to move into a future, which is why there's always a resilient energy in many of us. So expansion and capacity building, it's also in all of us as souls, and that is preordained. So we should always be expanding and growing. Have a wonderful night. Don't forget, take some moments of silence. It's International Day for Peace, and keep spreading your peace far and wide as much as you can, and practice being a little bit more gentle with yourself. Let that be preordained, and yet at the same token, balance it with being fierce and focused and committed and dedicated to grow and expand your capacity. If you don't expand your capacity, it'll just be flat for you. You can spend your whole life trying to work for the future to get to retirement, and then what? You sit down all day long and just wait for what? Passing away? You go into a senior citizen's home and you sit there and have some people that you really don't know feed you food, take you for a walk, maybe. No, we should live. We should live. Once the soul is in the body, live. And it's not about just living until you retire. Live until you're 90, 80, just like Daddy Janky. She lived until she was 104. She did not stop because she was 70. She didn't let her mind go at 80. She didn't let her health issues at 90 hold her back. She had her health issues, she healed herself, and she kept living. Let us use that as an example to understand why we're here, and that if I really had the power to preordain my journey, I would want my preordained journey to be lived. Lived, not wasted. Lived. Have a wonderful evening. Take good care of yourself and of each other. Om Shanti.
Together we are this voice. Together we make this choice. Together we make this choice. Together, Om Shanti. We're singing Om Shanti.
We find our nation on a precipice, true tipping point. Is this the moment that will finally change our country? Trying to rain on the thunder. Tell the storm I'm new. I'ma rain on this little love. Tell the tweet I'm new.
It's not a broken system. It was built to function exactly as it is.
We must respond with bold action.
This is our country too. We can build new systems that do what they should.
I'm a wild, come a march on the regular.
We are united. We are standing.
Follow away.
And we are going to fight this fight.
Freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. I break chains all by myself.
There is something happening across this country.
When we work and when we fight and when we march and when we speak up and when we offer solutions, we win.
I'ma keep running cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
It's always the right time to celebrate women and black women in particular.
It is an opportunity to show the nation and the world that we will act. It has been an inspiration.
You have the choice, and it is that choice that gives you power.
Vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does.
That is what we need next. Action.
Hi everyone, it's Sister Jenna from America Meditating Radio. I hope you've been enjoying Wise-ish, which you can get live on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45. But you can also get it on demand 24/7. It's going to be your power boost for the morning. It's your daily dose for the soul. It's just going to encourage you to make the day that much more valuable. So join us. Looking forward to seeing you. Hi everyone, I'm Sister Jenna. Welcome to our special Zoom meditation segments. Look, it's no joke. Things are kind of weird. It's just weird. Pandemics, protests, job insecurity, global pause. Everyone's numb, but also everyone's searching. And they might be searching on this little gadget of Zoom in a little box. People from all over the world who don't know each other are coming together in Zoom rooms to figure out who they are, why they're here, and how to meditate. Meditation is something that we've often thought that if we make our minds empty, we've meditated. I don't believe that. I think it's important that we learn how to channel our thoughts in a right way that are connected to our vision, our goal, our spiritual attainments, our mental capacity, then you're really meditating.
My glorious life. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you